Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here to show you my recipe for Cinna dal, which is one of our absolute favorite recipes that I make in the house. Actually, this is Adam's, like practically his favorite food. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to make it. It's actually very easy and there's not really a lot of cooking involved. It's a dump and go recipe in the Instant Pot, so that's pretty fantastic. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. Also, I am filming this one by myself and hopefully it turns out okay and I can manage to do it one-handed. So we're gonna see what I can do. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, here's everything that we need for this recipe. And I will go ahead and talk to you quickly about this little bean. It's one of our favorite beans. It's probably the least beany kind of bean that we've ever used. It's called chana dal, and it is a little split and skinned black chickpea. And so here's one, for instance, that it looks almost like a little rock, but it is not. It's just a piece that didn't get skinned, and it's just a delicious little bean. You can use any bean you want. You can probably even use tofu. You can do anything you want, but I would very much recommend trying to track down some of these either at your local Indian or international market or online. And like I said, it's called chana dal, and I will be putting it down in the full recipe will be in the description box below. And so I will give you guys the recipe measurements for a single batch, but in the video I am making a double batch. So you can, actually, I guess I'll put both measurements down below. But just so that you know, for the video, I'm making a double batch because, you know, my giant family. So anyway, so yeah, first of all, we're doing 4 cups of chana dal, and it has been rinsed already. It's in the Instant Pot. We're gonna have a total of 11 cups of water. So already in the Instant Pot is 6 cups of water. Now for a straight, like a single batch, you use 6 cups. For a double batch, I actually only use 11 cups. Something about it being a double batch, it's like you need to decrease the water a little bit or it's too watery. So the first part of the sauce I actually make in the blender. I'm using an entire can of tomato paste, and 5 cups of water are in the blender. I just use the little measurements on the side, and the tomato paste is already in there. And so the recipe calls for my recipe that I wrote calls for 2 pinky-sized pieces of fresh turmeric per recipe. And so I feel like this, and it's an eyeball estimate thing, so don't get too caught up in it. This I feel is about 2 by itself, and then this one too looks like it's about 2 pinkies all by itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those in the blender, and this is one of my absolute favorite ways to work with whole large fresh spices like this, like ginger and all that. I don't bother to peel it. I just wash it really well and cut off any bits that look kind of weird. And so when you do it in the Vitamix, you don't have to deal with it at all. You just dump it in and blend it, and it's just beautiful. And then 12 cloves of garlic, because it's serious. So in case you are not proficient at garlic yet, you can get yourself your little clove. And then typically what I do is I put my knife on top, usually with 2 hands, but we're gonna try this and hopefully I'm not doing a really unsafe thing here. You smash, and then the skin of the garlic gets separated from the clove itself, and then you can just pull that off, and now you have your little clove of garlic that you can put into your blender. And that's how I did all of these. Well, of course I used 2 hands for those. But yeah, this is actually now 13 cloves of garlic because garlic. And then now actually I'm gonna go ahead and do this one too. That worked out pretty well. And so I'll do that later. I'll add that in a little bit. And so that is it for what's going into the blender. And so now all there is to do is to blend this up really well and pour that into the pot. Okay, so I got that extra clove in, and I just run 1 smoothie cycle on my Vitamix, but you probably would blend for about a minute on high with a different Vitamix, or if you were using a standard blender, you just blend until it looks nice and smooth. Okay, yay. So that's all there is to those whole spices. And so then that just goes right into the Instant Pot. Oh my gosh, the smell, you guys, the aroma is incredible. Oh yes, and then I usually forget to mention, but I want to say this is an 8-quart Instant Pot. So if you have a 6-quart Instant Pot, you may not be able to do a double batch of this recipe. I don't know what your quantities will end up looking like, but that's just as an FYI. So anyway, now to the spices. So this is all the flavoring. So I like to mostly, if I'm using an Indian spice blend, I like for it to be made by an Indian company. So that is Rani is the one I typically use. It is sold in my local international market. It's the same place I get my chana dal. And so that is the brand that I use, and I love it. I do love their products are absolutely delicious. I have not had a single issue with it yet. Every single one of their blends is also salt free. So that's fantastic if you're wanting to control your salt. This is another kind of plus for the tomato paste versus a diced tomato, is that this does not have any added sodium to it. There is some naturally occurring sodium just from the tomatoes, but there's no salt added. So you can really reduce your sodium significantly using this, and then just like simply don't even add salt, like if you have to leave it out completely or whatever. It's very customizable. So I will also say I have discovered that there is a major difference between inequality between certain brands of cinnamon sticks. And so I have never had an issue with a Rani cinnamon stick. They're just fantastic and they hold together well. I have used some other brands like sold in the little plastic bag in the international aisle, like in the grocery store. And I don't know what brand it is, but it's just there with all the bagged spices. And it is not the same. A lot of times those cinnamon sticks will kind of break apart and fill your food with bark. And that is not what you want. So I personally just love the Rani cinnamon sticks, and those are the ones that I will use. I have yet to try the cinnamon sticks from Mountain Rose Herbs. I imagine they would also be fantastic, but of course they would be organic. These are not organic. I would love to have all organic, but some things are just kind of out of budget, so I don't use everything organic. Anyway, that being said, here's what actually goes into the chana dal. We've got 8 bay leaves. I think there's actually like 9 because some of these were actually really small. So again, it's kind of an eyeballing game. And 2 tablespoons of garam masala, a tablespoon of minced onion, 2 teaspoons of red chili flakes, a teaspoon and a half of salt, and 4 cinnamon sticks. So that just goes right into the Instant Pot. I'm going to actually pull one of these cinnamon sticks out because I like to use it to stir. And so there go all the spices. And then I stir it with one of the cinnamon sticks. I guess I could get a spoon, but I'm like, dishes. Don't feel like it. Okay. So there we go. Stir it up with the cinnamon stick, and then sometimes they're longer than this. This is a really short one. Okay. And then you get the lid on. That's it. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna cook it just on the manual setting. Some of the Instant Pots will say pressure cook instead for 12 minutes. And that's the time primarily for the chana dal. This is the sealing position. So you make sure it's in the sealing position, stick it in there, and as soon as it's ready, people will come running. I'm also going to make an Instant Pot full of basmati rice, and yeah, then we'll get lunch served up. Okay, I just got back on here really fast to answer what I know will be a question that's going to come up in the comments if I don't address it here in the video, and that is, can you use cinnamon instead of cinnamon sticks in this recipe? Now, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, okay? I will tell you my own personal experience, and my choice is obviously cinnamon sticks over regular cinnamon. So there's just a certain sweetness to a cinnamon stick versus a cinnamon powder. that I don't know if I could ever quite explain. It's like you get the, you're getting like only the top notes of the cinnamon flavor, like the sweet and beautiful cinnamony taste, without the entire bark going into the food, which I think is what ends up changing the flavor. Now, I also know that there are multiple kinds of cinnamon out there, but I would definitely encourage you, if at all possible, to get cinnamon sticks for this recipe. And now, I'm definitely not the kind of person who likes to have stuff on hand if it isn't necessary or if it doesn't actually make a difference. But I'm here to tell you for real, cinnamon sticks make a difference in this recipe. And so you definitely have to try it with a cinnamon stick instead of straight powdered cinnamon. So I don't know, you don't have to. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but that is my opinion, and that is what I have noticed and what I've seen, and the taste is just, there's just no comparison. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Okay, so here's the second Instant Pot, and I have put 6 cups of basmati rice rinsed into the Instant Pot and added 6 cups plus just a little extra of water. So I'm going to get this lid on, seal it. And this is a 6 quart now. So we'll do pressure cook and then 6 minutes for the basmati rice. And so now that's going to go. And as soon as those guys are done, it'll be time for lunch. All right, I'm also going to be roasting some vegetables to go with lunch. And so I like these Normandy style veggies from Kirkland. And as far as frozen vegetables go, y'all, I don't know, I've talked many times about frozen vegetables, how I hate to use them because of the plastic, but also I cannot physically I just can't be in the kitchen all day long preparing everything. So I do use frozen vegetables still. This is one of the ones that I like over some others because it is a single giant bag. It's 5.5 pounds in just one bag, and they're loose inside, and so you can make as much or as little as you want. And so for me, I am going to roast 2 full trays of veggies. So pardon my hands. And we're just going to fill these trays. So these are going to go in the oven at 425 for the, I don't know, 30-ish minutes. I'm like, until they're done. It changes. You just have to check, but that's my estimate. And so I kind of crowd the tray, obviously. I'll do this one too. So this is the other thing, I guess, about cooking for us, because this is kind of the other thing with the frozen veggies, because we use so much at once. Like this, there will be some leftovers, so I am definitely purposefully cooking a little extra, hoping to have some leftovers. But also, as Adam and I are honing in on our eating plans, we are doing like the starch solution, and I am doing the McDougall program for maximum weight loss. And those programs require eating a ton of vegetables, so it's like really difficult to keep up with the sheer amount of veggies. And so, yeah, this is one of my favorite ways to do a ton of veggies all at once. So yeah, I'm doing salt and nutritional yeast over top, because that's just like, if you ever have like roasted broccoli with salt and the nooch on it, oh my gosh, it's so delicious. But yeah, that's basically how it's just going to go in the oven, just like that. And like I've said, I'm estimating about 30 minutes on that. So I'm going to check in 20 minutes. I will rotate the trays, and then we'll let them go and just see when they will be done. And hopefully everything will be done kind of at the same time. Here, I just realized I'm like talking to no one. That's kind of one of the other really amazing things about the Instant Pot, I think, and cooking in it, is that like if you have something else going or not everything is ready at exactly the right time, the warm setting speaking of Instant Pot, the rice just started. The warm setting will kick in, and so you can like leave the stuff in the Instant Pot and it'll be ready as soon as you open it. So whatever else is going on, and it's great. Like I find it fantastic, especially for living a really busy life and trying to stay healthy and eat more whole foods and all of that. And also, as an aside, I love to basically this exact meal, the chana dal and the basmati rice, is a meal that I love to toss into my Instant Pots, like before I go shopping, for instance, so that when I get home and I have groceries and I do not feel like cooking because I've already gone grocery shopping. Anyway, like I've already done that. I do not feel like cooking when I get home, and I already have a meal waiting for me when I get home that's nice, and then I can toss in some fresh greens or do a salad or whatever to get my veggies in with that meal. But for now, we're gonna do a bunch of roasted veggies, and like I said, I'm hoping for some leftovers that I can heat up at least for like another day. I always think I cook way too much food, and that it's shocking how fast that food still disappears. I'm always like, well fine, I'm gonna cook this much, and it still disappears. So I guess if everybody is eating a ridiculous amount of vegetables, I'm not gonna complain. So all right, that's it. We're gonna get this in the oven. All right, we're gonna open these up now. I've got everything set and ready to go for everyone. Napkin, spoons, bowls. It's very much like a self-serve thing. But let's open up this chana dal. Oh man. Oh, the smells. If only you could smell it. So that looks good. It's still actually a little thin, but it's gonna thicken as it sits. But still, that's beautiful. Oh, that is gorgeous. All right, and so I've got that, and now let's do the rice. Oh, perfect. Beautiful, beautiful rice. And so we've got our nice pile of fluffy basmati rice, the big thing of chana dal, and we're ready to go. Adam is ready to dig in now, so that's what we're gonna do, but I'm waiting for veggies, so I'll show you guys what my bowl looks like. But also, as an aside, he's hungry. He's waiting. He's like, I want my food. Stop talking to the people. All right, here, go ahead, get your food. This recipe is ready for dehydrating, and we have dehydrated it before with great success. It's something that Adam was really enjoying taking to work in his lunches. So it was a long-term storage type thing, and it did not last very long. He loves this stuff.
Indeed.
He's trying to get to it. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm gonna wait for veggies and I'll show you my bowl, and then that will be it for this particular video. Okay, there's my bowl still steaming up, and it is, oh my gosh, it smells so amazing. I'm really excited to dig into this. And so yeah, there is our recipe for the Cinna dal and how we roast the veggies. They actually ended up taking about 20 minutes. I did 20 minutes, switched the trays, and then just did 20 more minutes. And so it does take a while, but obviously it's a lot of hands-off time. So there is the meal. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys at all. And as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.